Hey there, here we are once again, speaking to you live from the Sow's Ear Chronicles. Brought this kilt was brought to me. Fellow's inherited it from his father. His father's quite a different build than him, and time is of the essence. So I'm going to be working a bit late on this tonight. It's made by up to this moment I considered a reputable maker. And as you can see, I don't know what tartan it is, but if you look at the pattern, it's essentially black watch. It's essentially the universal tartan, if you see these elements, but with red switched for blue, and or red for green, and this purple for blue. Doesn't look too bad from the outside, but to reach the measurements, or to get to the new measurements, because this fellow's quite a bit more slender than his dad, is I'm going to have to rob a pleat from either side. Because if I didn't rob the pleats, we would have an apron that was so small that it would be well within tartan skirt country, and we're not going to go there. Back to that in a minute, but before I flip it over, here's a bad idea. Here's bad practice. Now this apron has been turned over and what I call a blind stitch. But you look, and okay, that's not too bad. It's got a good catch there. But that one is one yarn, and that one's one yarn. All of those are one yarn. And the concern there is that if this gets pulled, it's gonna pull that yarn out of the cloth. In fact, when I take the seam apart, I'm probably gonna have to use scissors rather than a seam cutter, because if I just pull on that a little bit, it's gonna harm the fabric. Bad idea. Okay, so again, getting back to robbing a pleat from either side, that is going to be made a lot easier by the fact that whoever made this thing, and I don't know if they had a quota system about how many kilts they can make in a morning, but as you can see, they didn't steek and they didn't thin the back out. They didn't fish the back. So that's to the good for me, because all I have to do is unpick seams and sort of do it over again. But what I'm looking at, you can see how I just sort of noticed this. You can see we have the detail of I've showed you the detail of the set. It's a very large set, and it's essentially black watch. But they've presented it a different way here. Oh, no, they haven't. But what they have done, frankly, I think they just screwed up, or they're just not that competent, because we have, see that? There's a double pleat. And there's another double pleat there, and another one there, and another one there, and they're occurring in regular intervals. So I assume they knew what they were doing. I just don't like what they've done. So I might well go beyond on this, because I was just going to do a basic alteration, but I think I can't let this leave my shop in this fashion, because somebody's going to ask him who altered his kilt, and they'll look at it and they'll say, wonderful, when did he start altering kilts with his feet? I don't like this. So I think what I'm going to be doing is pulling all of these seams. Now, fortunately for me, it's machine sewn, which I normally can't stand, but at least the inner, I guess they've sewn it in this direction, but this would be the thread on the bobbin is a different color, so I can pull that without too much eye strain. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to completely break this down, pull all the seams, and then take a look at that point to see if I'm going to be able to press it flat and then make it up again, so that I can get rid of this nonsense, which bugs me. Or am I going to find that I'm going to have to sort of perpetuate and carry on what this guy's done? To be honest, it doesn't look that bad from the inside, but from the outside, but looking on the inside, no, I can't turn my face away from this. There we are. Okay, so I'll report back a little bit later when I got something to show. In the meantime, I'm going to let my apprentice get back to what he's supposed to be doing, and I'm going to get back to pulling a great many machine sewn seams. Thank you, and have a good weekend.